Hi.
And we have a special guest here.
RJ.
Yes. RJ and
Victor.
Victor. Well, welcome to Kids in the Kitchen. Today we are working on New Year's foods, and we're here breaking the stalks off of our collard greens. RJ is going to get started. While we break the stalks off of our collard greens, the next thing we're going to do is dry off our greens. So, Victor, I'm going to give you a few greens. I want you to pat them dry. And RJ, I'm going to give you a few greens, and I want you to pat them dry. And I'm going to tell folks a little bit about what we did before the show. So go ahead, you pat these dry. Well, before the show, what we did was we put our collard greens in our sink, and we soaked them really good. And that was to make sure that we got the grime out. And so now the guys are breaking off the big stalks and patting our collard greens dry. And today we're doing New Year's food. So soon in the show we'll talk to our guests a little bit. RJ, you were telling us a little bit about some of the things you like to do. What are some of your favorite things?
Video games, basketball, eating.
Ooh, eating. And what else? Oh gosh, fighting with his brothers. Oh my goodness. And so, Victor, what are some of your favorite things to do?
I like to beat up persons in karate. I like to play basketball.
Okay.
I like to play video games.
Okay, so we have some video game players with us today. We're turning them into chefs today.
Alright, the next thing we're going to do, hold on for 1 second, is Maika's going to teach the guys how to roll collard greens. Now, collard greens are huge. Everybody can see that they are tremendous. So one of the main things you have to do is make your collard greens go from this to bite size, like these. So Maika's going to show the boys how to roll collard greens and chop them. While they do that, I'm going to go work on sauteing some garlic, onions, and about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. We chopped up about 3 onions. We used about 3 or 4 tablespoons of garlic. You can do it to your taste. I'm going to work on that on the stove while you guys work on chopping up the greens.
Okay, so while the boys were patting dry the collard greens, what I've been doing is cutting out the stalks. And we're doing that because you really don't want to eat this thick stalk. It's not going to add a lot of flavor to your collard greens, so we cut them out. And the next thing what you do is to get them into these nice sized pieces that we have in this bowl. We roll the collard greens similar to cigars. That's what we've been saying to the boys. We roll them really tight into like a long cigar. So if you can each start kind of how we were doing it during the break, from the edge of the collard greens, and then roll them tightly away from you. You can see RJ is a master right here. We've been practicing this off screen. And he's doing a really good job. If you can pass that to me.
Very
awesome.
Good.
Okay, and Victor did a really good job too. So Victor, can you hold yours down in the paper towel? Okay. So what we were doing was we were showing them how to roll the collard greens and how to cut the collard greens. And neither Victor or RJ really cut at home. So they've been learning how to cut while they've been here. Do me a favor, can you put these in the bowl for me, sweetheart? So that's the next thing that you do. We're putting them in a bowl right here, and we're then going to saute some vegetables. Sheila's doing that to give our collard greens some flavor. Right, Sheila?
That's right. Over here I'm sauteing the onions and the garlic. The other thing I did before the show, just to get everything prepped, was I took some turkey wings and I boiled them, and you just boil them to kind of get them good and soft. Now the turkey wings are going to cook with the greens, with the onions, with the garlic for about 1.5 hours. And so there's plenty of time for them to soften up and loosen off the bone, but we wanted to give them just a head start. We got all our greens?
We have all our greens done.
Okay, so Micah, what we can do is, now this is the fun part. First thing we're going to do is I'm going to put a piece of the turkey. Now sometimes the turkey is really big, so you've got to kind of do this in stages because the goal is to get everything in the pot. Okay, go ahead, Micah. You can go ahead and help the boys put some of the greens in.
Okay, so if you all can each kind of take some
handfuls.
Be careful, remember it's hot.
Right, and we're working here with a gas stove, as we explained to the boys. So you just have to be pushing. Okay. All right, let's hold on for 1 second.
Okay, if you can each both take a step back after you're done. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, take a step back, RJ. Thank you. Okay, it's okay. Don't worry about the pieces on the floor. So one of the things that happens, RJ, one of the things that happens is that you look and the collard greens don't seem like they're going to fit into the pot. But one of the nice things about collard greens is they really do cook down. So where it looks like these collard greens won't fit in the pot, as they start to wilt, this volume will start to decrease.
Right, and we're putting in some water, and we're also putting in some chicken broth that will help. And we also have some homemade broths too. So you're going to use the water, the greens, the heat, the liquid to start to make them cook down. And what we'll do here is we'll just kind of work them out as they mash into the pot.
I mix mine and I try, trying to bring what's on the bottom to the top so that, everything will slowly start to cook down and fit into the actual pot.
And we'll do that, one of the things, again, you have with greens, sometimes greens are a little messy, you're going to get them everywhere, but they will all begin to fit. I'm going to add some more water. So now there's a few other ingredients I'll just tell you that we're going to add to our greens. And we're going to add a little bit of liquid smoke. Now this is a great option if you don't like to cook with meat. We're cooking with turkey today, but you can use liquid smoke and just add it to your pot.
And the one thing I love about collard greens is that you can really cook collard greens so that they can have different tastes based on what your flavor is. So I've learned how to make collard greens for my sister. She likes hers a little bit spicy, so Sheila does too. So we both put like some red pepper flakes or some cayenne pepper in our collard greens.
And this is, now you can use a nice measuring spoon, but we're going to just use the cap, and that's okay. And about 3 capfuls of vinegar. And then we have some homemade chicken broth also that is just, we made it. We made some chicken stock, and we're going to add that to our pot in a few minutes. So we're going to continue to work on our greens some sort of way. We're going to get all these greens in this pot, and we're going to have it cook for about an hour and a half. And it's going to cook way down, and that's going to be a first part of our New Year's food. So we'll see you after the break. What do you think, guys?
Looks pretty good, right? Looks good.